How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I've got the Price of Victory mission on Imandra. It's the one where you got to get the armoured cars, so you have to do this before you are allowed to go and rescue like the plane parts and stuff. So yeah, it's broken into a few different bits. This is the first bit. I've already grabbed this. It's the metal detector module. But when you start this mission, the first thing you've got to do, if you can see in the top right, they could do with putting a box behind it so you can read it no matter what the background is. But yeah, you have to go and find the metal detector module, regardless of whether you've already got it or not. So you basically just got to drive back there and drive into the square, and it'll let you get on to the next bit. But yeah, I took the F750 out. Obviously now it's got the new engine, the V10 to it. And yeah, it does feel pretty decent. It actually does genuinely feel like one of the better balanced trucks in the game. Like, it's certainly not OP or anything you can see here. It's, you know, like there's little bits where it bogs down for a minute, but it's, I don't know, it just feels quite nice. Like, it eventually climbs its way back out, and it's yeah, quite a good benchmark for how I enjoy playing the game, I suppose, in a way. Although I do like my high speed and flying around and messing around, because yeah, that's fun. But ticking along in this, it's a nice speed. And it's just got nice handling characteristics. It's got very nice steering. I wish I could put this steering on just about everything in the game, or all the trucks anyway. And I suppose for this I didn't really need it, but I got it all kitted out with the roof racks and everything else on. I actually think with this, unless someone can sort of tell me any different what your experiences are, but I don't really find with the roof racks on that it makes any difference really to the speed or anything like that. And I really do, that's one reason I do like this truck, is all the different options. Obviously you got like the custom pickup bed with like the roof rack roll cage over there. You got the middle utility thing between the cab and the I don't know, the pickup thing. And then yeah, you got a small roof rack on the front as well. And obviously even better, you can have trailers, like proper truck trailers rather than just scout trailers. I suppose if there was one thing I could change about this, the gearbox. Then again, it has got 6 gears, and it's also got the high and low options. So yeah, I suppose overall it's not too bad, but I do miss the 8 gears, particularly the high range is what I miss. The 8 gears in and of itself, not too bothered, because it's, unless you're going along a road, you don't really get up to 8th anyway. So yeah, just driving past that trailer store, I had a quick think for a second, but I'm only going to get this module. In terms of like relative to this mission, especially, I'm not sure if you can do this mission before you've got the garage unlocked or not. I certainly wouldn't recommend it. I'd definitely get the garage unlocked first before you do this mission. Yeah, I can basically drive to the module and then just recover to the garage. So when you get, just go past the warehouse and everything, there's like that icy bit in the middle is a bit of a troll. It's worth trying to skirt around the edges of it if you can, even if you're just going straight over. But I had to turn left there anyway. See, and I just think this thing feels like a pretty accurate representation of what a truck set up like this would feel like. Obviously it's not going to have some rapid punchy engine in real life. It's like it's a bit of an old school pickup truck, bit of a lazy revving yeah, engine, that sort of thing. But I just think it does, I don't know, just something does feel good about it. That's what she said. So we're nearly there. It goes off into like a little bit of a canyon. Getting down here is fine, but then there's like, yeah, just a big chunk of super snow. It's just little bits like this where I don't really get what it is they're trying to achieve, because there's no challenge, there's no, there's no excitement, there's no extra anything. It's just like, alright, I'll attach a winch then and just pull my way through it and then carry on. So yeah. Like, it's just, why do you have to even make me attach the winch just to do the most obvious thing? It's just, yeah, little bits like that. Like, they don't piss me off, but I just sort of do laugh, roll my eyes a bit and think that's a bit unnecessary. Whoever is like high up in this game has a bit of a sadistic side to them. I think they like trolling people, they like bloody making people suffer on this game, I think. Which is sort of funny, but Yeah. So anyway, that's the module done. This is just a quick look for any of you guys that are not too comfortable with the map yet. This is just basically, that's from the garage. Go along the main road to the right, keep following it. When you go past the trailer store and the warehouse, take the first left, take the next left again, and then, yeah, like, by then you should have uncovered enough of the map that you'll see it anyway, but it's just between those canyons. As I said, I'm best off recovering. Right, the next step is to basically go from the garage to where I've been going the last few days, like where there's a bridge out and there's a bit of icy water and all the rest of it. However, and this is where now, having learnt this mission, basically, I kind of thought, oh, that's not too bad. I grabbed the module. Yeah, I've got to go and get the armoured cars. And I needed a flatbed trailer. I don't know if you specifically need this trailer, but I wanted to use one of these trailers regardless. So I kind of added an extra bit of fluff and faffing around to my mission, because basically I had one of these trailers at the airport, and I also had the club just there ready with it. And then the other trailer I've got like this is at the trailer store that I drove past a few minutes ago with the F750. And eventually you're going to have to bring the armoured cars to the airport. And to be honest, I wouldn't say it's good reasoning. It was just once I decided it, I was just like, yeah, I've got to do it. I was thinking I can either bring this trailer from the airport all the way to the other side of the map, but then at least when I do bring the armoured cars back, just went for the jump and we made it. Yeah, when I bring the armoured cars back, I'll end up taking this trailer back to the airport, whereas if I leave this trailer there and then bring the trailer from the other side, I'll then have two of these trailers at the airport, and as far as I can remember, there's no trailer store nearby or anything, so they're effectively just going to sit there. Maybe there is another mission I'll have to use it for, but yeah, that was my pointless, needless effort I added to my own game, really, was to bring this trailer. So I'm going to cut a lot of it out, because you don't necessarily need to bring this trailer from the other side of the map. However, now I have done it, now I've got to the end and everything else, I am glad that I've still got this trailer at the airport, I've got my other trailer on the other side of the map, and I know I could just buy more trailers, so as I say, it's not the end of the world. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm no stranger to just abandoning trailers all over the place, but this is one, you see, I tried, I made an effort. Yeah, I'm cutting across, got to go across this stupid little bridge thing again. These panels, they are a bit of a troll, they move around. I still like the fact, I've not tried it, but people have been saying you can lift them and put them back in place, or possibly take them elsewhere on the map and build your own bridges. I've tried doing it before in, what's the map called? Mountain River. There's like a big hole in the road, and I wanted to put some concrete slabs in there, but I don't think I could get concrete slabs from that map. And then where else was it? There was somewhere else where I could get concrete slabs, and I tried to basically build a little bridge, but when you're actually sat next to the concrete slabs, they're pretty tall, whereas these are actually like boards on the road. So yeah, it'd be quite nice if they added these to more maps, to be honest, just for the curiosity of trying to build different little bridges and roadways and all sorts. So eventually though, luckily, the clobber bullied its way across there. I kept getting caught up like on the chassis and that, which isn't really the club's fault. I've drove a few things over there now and they all get caught. As you can see, I was running out of fuel though, so I just tried to get as far as I could to the towards the garage. And this road is a bit of a trollish bit, because it's the snow wasn't too bad, but it's got a lot of rocks, and also because the club can't have chained, I was trying to think really. I mean, I ended up putting a saddle high on this. This is why I'm heading to the club now. I'm going to keep the trailer on the club, but yeah, stuff like the P16 can't have chained, the clubs can't have chained, and they're all like purpose-built high saddle high trailers, but I can't, like this. This road is just pure black ice, and it's fine with the chain tyres, but not without. That's funny. I was reading through some comments. I will reply to some comments, by the way. I've been pretty tired. I didn't sleep very well. I kind of fell asleep early, so I apologise. I will catch up. But yeah, someone said I drive like an idiot, and to that, all I have to say is,
you're goddamn right.
I love messing around on this game. I think, again, it's just personal opinion. I don't mind. People are saying that, I enjoy it. I encourage it. Tell me I'm on it. I drive like an idiot. It's a game. To me, that's why I find it fun, and it's like, I think they said something like if you wouldn't have to repair your vehicle if you didn't drive like an idiot, and it's like, yeah, but they've added those mechanics to the game, so why would I go to more effort to drive more carefully to then miss out on an entire section of the game? Like I said, it's like, to me, that's like playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and making sure you never break the law, so the cops are never on you, or going on to someone's GTA 5 police chase video and being like, well, if you didn't break the law in the game, you wouldn't have the police on you. It's like, yeah, that's the point. That's why I like rallying my trucks, because I like sending another truck in with a maintenance trailer, but I definitely take the piss, take risks on this game. Why not? Stevie Wonder loves a bit of rallying. Who am I to stop him? Yeah, climbing up this hill. Again, you can see the club's just drifting off to the side because it's not got the chain. Fortunately, yeah, the Navistar is pretty bloody good on this map. Somebody was telling me the other day that they've had a go with it, and I think late that night or the night after I had a little fly around with my Navistar, and yeah, it is a very good truck on this map. I also still think the Navistar is a very good looking truck. It just looks like a classic, I don't know, yeah, that sort of truck, but it's also been beefed up. Got like off-road tyres and all sorts. It's good. And it's doing pretty well. I did put some fuel. I can't remember if I cut it out, but I put a bit of fuel from the Navistar. It's not often you send a Navistar to go and fuel something else up. If any of you own this truck, you'll know. I can't see, this is what I mean. I can't see what the fuel usage is because it's behind the snow, but I should assume it's jumping into the 30s. Possibly mid-30s sometimes. But to its credit, it's just got, yeah, a hell of a lot of pulling power, and I do love the high-range gear in this Navistar. Motors along very... It just winds up, it's got a lot of power. It almost feels getting on for like how the twin steer does when you stick it in high range. It's like that sort of icy channel that's, yeah, like a sheet of black ice as well. I mean, I wouldn't have had a problem with the club going down it, but if I needed to turn around for anything, I would have. There's this trollish tree in the middle. I never have too much trouble bumping the front over, but it always catches on petrol tanks and stuff. So I got the Navistar over. It was a turn of the club. See if or how it can handle the tree, and thankfully, club doesn't give a shit. And then Stevie Wonder starts driving off on him by himself. What are you doing, Steve? Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, just started driving off on its own and then it stopped. So, this is the bit where you could save yourself a bit of time. I've already just drove past the trailer store, but it's not too far back up the road. You could just buy a trailer from nearer the garage. Yeah, I didn't want to take the club. What? There was a reason. Oh yeah, because eventually when I go back, all the icy road and stuff, I wanted something with chained. I was also kind of in the mood to try the Navistar. It was doing pretty well. So basically, this is now, I suppose, after you've got the metal detector, you could just recover to the garage. This is now the second bit of the trip. This is to head to where the armoured cars are. And it's going along the normal route. I'm going to cut some bits out because I've done this same route. It's a route that a lot of you will be using on this game at the minute, especially while you've got these missions to do. But you're coming back to this river in like the top corner. It's near where you had to deliver one of the wooden... like rebuild the telegraph pole things to unlock the garage. And I will just say now, because I didn't even read it properly at first, but a few things you're going to need for this bit of the mission is you're going to need the metal detector module, I believe anyway. Like, I got pretty near to one of the armoured cars and I couldn't see it on the map, and after I metal detected it was there, but then the first one I reckon I sort of came across. I'll show you in the video a bit later, like where the armoured cars are. Obviously, I'll tell you as and when. Like, if you don't want to know where they are and you want to search for them yourself, then I'll tell you. Like, you'll have to skip ahead a little bit. Another thing you're going to need though is a crane. And at the minute, obviously, I've got the metal detector. I've got the Navistar with the trailer that I'm going to have to put the armoured cars on. But yeah, I also had to send in a crane, and I've edited most of those bits out because, yeah, I mean, as you can see, the video's almost 50 minutes long already. I was trying the Dan and also Bruce, and it's not like I've been driving along with Dan and it's been doing pretty well, all things considered. It's just once I got to that like river part, it can be quite a boggy riverbed, and the thing with the Dan is when you actually look at like the two rear axles and then the front axle, there's probably about 2/3 of the front of the Dan that is only supported by one axle, and more on like the older maps that it more came into play that it was quite spongy suspension because there's only one axle's worth of suspension to resist the weight of your cab bobbing around. But yeah, it's a lot of truck length to just only have not balancing on one axle, but that's only one axle to resist punching into the floor and all sorts. So it's just essentially Bruce got through the river a lot better because it's got 10 wheels, not 6, and there was just more grip points. There's no wheels that are really like left out in the middle of anywhere on their own to where, yeah, they can just cut through the mud pretty easily. They're all in like banks of wheels, so it just helps keep it above the mud a bit better. Going along this bit, I'm going to cut a bit of this out because again, this section you're going to have to drive through a lot. It's been in pretty much every video so far on Imandra, and yeah, it's just a long straight bit of like icy boggy mud. There's nothing really special to it. Most of you would have been over there. Once I got to the other side of it, turn right, cut across the lake, or as I did that magnitude of 5 mission yesterday, I could have drove along the left hand side of the lake, but it's not worth it. I honestly think cutting across here is just quicker. There's no super snow or anything to slow you down. There's my maintenance trailer. Here's one I prepared earlier. By the way, when I drove forward and I went under that bridge, the Navistar, I think it was the Navistar getting stuck on the bridge, so I just drove round this way instead. Go for a little jump off here. Preferably, well, if you could go under the bridge, you can like approach at a bit of a better angle. If you do have to go from that way, speed is probably a bit better because it can tip you sideways a bit, but if you just go quick enough, you just kind of do a jump off there rather than tipping slowly off there. But as you'll see now, I'm just trying to winch the Navistar forward, and I wasn't really paying attention, but I was digging my own, like the Voron AE into the ground, so I winched then reversing on the Navistar, and once I was out the ground, I'm having a lot more luck just pulling the Navistar along. But yeah, this riverbed, it looks like it's all just solid rock and everything, but it is very trollish. Like, preferably you want to keep moving at all times if you can, unless you're going to get near to the edge or something again. And with the cranes, genuinely, Dan got completely stuck. The Voron couldn't even get it out. It was the loaf. Used the loaf as a wedge, got the Dan out, and then, yeah, the loaf pulled the Dan and the Voron out. It's a goddamn horse of a vehicle. So, basically, this is where you got to get, and it just says, like, head to this square to find the armoured cars. So, when you get here, though, it's kind of like, what? Like, okay, I'm here, where's my armoured cars? I even drove the Navistar into where the square was in case it said pack armoured cars. Like, it never really just gave you much direction. Again, about to appear on the screen is where the 2 armoured cars are, so just keep skipping ahead about a minute or so if you don't want to see. But where I've just started the dots from is where my Navistar currently is. You can see, like, that little cove of rocks. There's a little icy road leading up to it, so that one's pretty easy and simple. I found that one in about 5-10 minutes. This next one, honestly, probably took me an hour or 2 to find it. I was pretty much 5 minutes off just looking on YouTube. I really didn't want to because I kind of wanted to experience it for myself, including the annoyance of just driving around. Where the hell is this thing? This one kind of makes sense because it's up a little icy channel and it kind of leads you there. When you look on the map, it's like, oh, there probably is something up there. This is what I mean with the metal detector. I'm not 100% if you need it, but obviously I've found the car. But then as soon as I use the metal detector, it appears as like a little yellow square, so I'm not sure if it'd let me have the car unless I use the metal detector, or, you know, not make it count sort of thing. Yeah, it was at that point I realised I can't just winch the car back. I suppose it wouldn't matter because I've still got to get it onto the Navistar trailer. But yeah, sending Bruce. Pretty lucky there, it's pretty close. You can see Dan in front. And Dan, well, you can see the deep marks from where I had to drag the Dan out of there. That's why I'm kind of cutting around to the left. There's a loaf that rescued him. I've got a Tiger up here, a Voron. Again, a lot has been cut out between the 2 bits you've just seen. Like, this was hours later into the game where I was bordering on pulling my goddamn hair out, thinking, where the hell is this armoured car? I've done laps of all the left-hand side of the map. I was going on bits of the right-hand side of the map. Yeah, it was definitely My advice would be, if you did skip past where I showed you where to get the armoured cars from, I wouldn't bother. I'd just look where they're from, drive there and get them. It was just one part of the mission that I didn't really need. Or again, the first armoured car was alright. I just think the second one was too much of a random position where the game just didn't give you any hint, and it's like, well, I don't know, but like, have I got to drive over the other side of the map and look, or what? It's just not giving me any information. And after I'd scouted a pretty wide area around me and still not found the second one, it was kind of like, well, I don't know. I was almost getting on to thinking, like, is it glitched, is it missing? That's why I was about to check YouTube, and then as you'll see in a minute, almost by chance I was just doing one last lap of a rock, and yeah, one of the last times I pressed the metal detector it started beeping. Well, obviously it was the last time because I found it, but I mean, I was about to just quit regardless. I mean, the armoured car itself weighs basically nothing, even when I'm reversing with the Bruce. It's not leaning now, it's not tipping me over or anything like that. It's certainly not weighted to where, like, even what a loaf is weighted at or something. And yeah, Bruce is doing alright, considering, I mean, it doesn't sit that high anyway. It's also a very long truck to get over things, and it's got the crane legs sticking out the side, but because it has got those 10 wheels, I'm driving through a lot of boggy mud now, really. But it's sort of not traditional boggy mud in this game. Like you say, you can sort of see it like bedrock or whatever, or just rocks, like pretty hard surface on the ground, but yeah, you dig through it surprisingly easy. This was already, I don't believe I'd found the second armed car at this point. I just got sick and tired of doing laps of the map, so I decided to just grab that one for now and put that on the trailer. Give myself some sanity. So, one down. And yeah, this was driving right at the top of the map. I was basically going to go round here, jump off, and then recover to garage and then look on YouTube. And at fair, even when I heard that beep, I was like, oh, what? Finally? Like, after about 200 goes. And I could see that squared. I think that was my original armoured car. I got a bit confused. But yeah, it was just in front of me, basically, but I was looking back at the yellow square that was my, yeah, my first armoured car. And then when I found it, I was looking around like, bloody hell, how do I even, like... It's fine finding it, but I've got to get a crane up there. So, that section there is like the electricity place where you've got to deliver the metal beams to unlock the garage. So as you can see, it's kind of like above that. I mean, look, you can see tyre marks going all over the bloody place. Multiple tyre marks as well, like I was doing laps of everything. I must have been so close about 2 times to getting this armoured car. I don't know what the range is on the metal detector. In fairness, it'd be nice if it kind of, you know, lit up a circle around you a bit like the winch does, just to actually know how far you're scanning, because I had no idea. I just kept driving around everywhere. The good thing is you can, like, click the metal detector on and then keep driving and press triangle to scan, but you can't change gears or anything like that, so every time you want to reverse or anything, you've got to then press circle, get back off the metal detector. So it is a bit of faffing around, really. Luckily though, Bruce, he squeezes up through them trees, and again it basically weighs soddle, so it's not really going to be an issue for tipping. I'll pop it on my roof. Bruce got a pretty good head for storing extra cargo on as well, a bit like the Dolphin. Yeah, just basically did a million-point turn that I'll cut out just to save a bit of time. Just watching them crane legs, you don't want them to hook on. Yeah, I still think it's a little bit like they could have given you a bit more of a hint considering where the armoured car was. However, apart from that, this mission overall was pretty... They're definitely not going easy on you sort of thing. It's like, this whole map is a bit of a troll and a bit of a punish. Some of these missions are certainly... They don't hold your hand through it or anything. So you can see just to my right, that was the power station sort of thing. So yeah, it all makes sense. It all sort of... It's not too bad once you know, but... yeah, the 2 odd hours of my life that I spent driving around clicking a bloody metal detector was not the most fun. So all things considered, including like the bump, you know, the angle changes and all sorts, Bruce and his chin, it's not doing too bad. Can hear another helicopter as well. Yeah, that's the mood I was in at the time. Like, fuck you, armoured car. Get on that goddamn trailer and we are off. See, it was around this point where I was like, yeah, I really didn't need to add extra fluff to the mission, like driving this trailer from the other side of the map. Although, like I said, now I am glad I did, but I can't necessarily say I'd recommend it. Finally, they take up a bit of room, unless there's a gap in between them that can have another bit of cargo, I'm not sure, but... This was like my first proper time using this trailer, really. I've drove around a little bit with it with a Kolob, but I've, like, I mean, before doing this mission. But yeah, this was the first proper use of this trailer, really. I have to say as well, the trailer does sit pretty wide. You'll see when I'm straightened up. I mean, the Navistar isn't narrow or whatever, but when you actually look at it, it's like the narrow point of the trailer is about the same width as the Navistar. The actual, yeah, sides of the trailer, I mean, it's a pretty wide load. Yeah, I don't even need to say it. See, this is what I've been enjoying with the Navistar. I thought at some point it'll probably get stuck here, especially pulling this big fat trailer with it. That must have been in the high then, which is not bad really. It's getting awkward. To be honest, these bits here, it's these bloody rocks that are probably... They initially slow you down and then you sink in the mud. But it was close. See, there's like the end of the tyre marks where the Dan had dug into the ground, so... Yeah, this thing, even though it was close, it just about muscled its way through and out of there, which I was pretty happy with. See, as soon as I let go of the accelerator, you can see it almost just sink back in. I don't know, well, obviously it must have helped a little bit, but... Those porta cabin things have pretty much zero resistance, so... I think I more got a benefit just from the winch being attached to something rather than like specifically the cabin itself. But if you could have seen the, I don't know, yeah, 2 odd hours that I just cut out at this point of getting all sorts of things stuck in this mud, I'll take that, just a little winch to the porta cabin for 5 seconds. See, it went under that bit of bridge, and that looked about the same height, so I'm not sure what it was doing earlier. So, finally, well, that was like a big chunk of the mission. If you can get to this point, you're sort of on the home straight. And of course, just looking around, got to get my Voron AE down. And again, for anyone who says that, I drive like an idiot.
You're goddamn right.
Good times. See? Goddamn professional, it's life trained. Sell that tree, stop giving me lip, and we're off. That's the power station. Treat myself to some fuel. It's feeling dangerous. Feeling pretty cocky at this point, got away with enough things. Another little jump. The Voron's actually pretty nice for doing little jumps. Saying, why would you want to deny yourself that little bit of fun? Why do I want to get all like, no, I'll stick it in low and go down at half a mile an hour? Well, I have done it at times, like there is a certain appeal to the slow nature of this game, but I don't know, when you've been playing it for about 500 hours to 1,000 hours, then I'd say dropping the hammer becomes pretty fun in its own right. I mean, look at the loaf, having the time of his life. Have a look round for some reason. He's balancing. I'll give you 3 seconds, loaf, and you better be back to business. And he is. This is a goddamn horse of a vehicle. Couldn't resist. Had to get them all together. Loaf never refuses a little photo opportunity. Thumbnail action. Got to get Bruce in there as well. And yeah, this is the last section of the mission, I suppose. You've got to get the armoured cars from where you are to the airport. Now, by all means, you can plan different routes. I'm coming down this way, and then I'm going to go like across the main road, past the garage, past the trailer store, all that sort of stuff. Essentially back on the way I came from with the club. You could carry on going straight down the left-hand side of the map, but the main thing I can remember from that is the like cliff edge going all the way along, and I was like, I really, after faffing around for 2 hours trying to get the bloody armoured cars, I didn't want to risk tipping off the cliff and losing the bloody things. So yeah, I decided to double back on myself, cut across that little bridge, go this way, and yeah, things mostly went smoothly, as you'll see. Not everything, but that was my plan, to cut back up through there, and then now, yeah, I'm back on this little road and I'm at the airport. Felt pretty easy from this point. I was like, well, another 15 minutes or so and I'll be done. Famous last words. So at the minute, I suppose the first thing is just to head back to the garage, kind of get to that point. I'm going again with the Voron AE and the Navistar, but I will ditch the AE shortly. So again, it's just a very nice, yeah, very good looking truck, the Navistar, I think. Especially when it's got the trailer on that, just looks like looks pretty cool, really. I've seen as well, I've not seen the video, but I've seen a thumbnail of, I assume it's on mods. It was like a proper, I don't know if it was curtain side, but you know, like a proper trailer that you mainly see on the motorways and all sorts, and it, I believe that was on the Navistar as well, and that suited it pretty well. I don't know how they haven't added one of them already in this game. I suppose you wouldn't be able to see your cargo, but it'd also keep it at 100% locked in the trailer, which would be pretty cool in its own right. It's more just wheel spinning there because I was in high range. And I went kind of off the road into the deep boggy snow. It was yeah, not happening for me. But because the Navistar in itself has got such a lot of like pulling power and torque, that so was this, to be honest. These two together, like, that's essentially why I was doing it, because I could have used the Dolphin and that. I just, you know, I use the Dolphin all the time, all over the place. So here and there where I can, I try to mix and match it up a bit. And we're getting back to this ice section. I'm going to cut most of this out, but I'll just say when you go around here, definitely give it a nice wide angle, because that inside tree, I mean, I suppose there when I started pulling, it kind of skidded my rear end over to the left a bit more than I'd planned. But yeah, because that trailer's pretty wide, it clipped the tree. All I did though was reverse, go a bit wider, and I towed this through most of that icy, like, it's just that icy straight bit again I've gone through. But I abandoned the Voron AE like 2/3 of the way through when I was just winching this along anyway, and drove that out of there. But like I say, that'd be alone like another probably 3, 4, 5 minutes in the game, so in the video. And considering the weight of this trailer and everything though, and the trollish nature of the terrain, yeah, the Navistar I think is doing pretty well. So this is still on the road on the way back, yeah, towards the garage. I've not got past the garage yet. And I suppose that's another nice thing with the Navistar, like every now and then you can get caught up, but generally speaking it feels like it'll put its own effort in and get you through there eventually. You might have to do a little bit of jiggling with the steering and whatever, dip the throttle a few times, but yeah, it is just quite nice. Like, it's one of those trucks again that feels like it's putting in some work to help you get through the terrain. So going past the garage, what I did quickly is just detach the trailer, recover into the garage, drive back out, reconnect the trailer. I also popped a loaf on the back because why not? I've got Piers, I've got the Voron AE with me again. which I believe will get ditched at some point. Main thing I wanted the loaf for really was just in case I needed extra fuel, but there is also there's a lot of jagged rocks potentially coming up, so I also got spare tyres. It does, though, as you'll see, it does fall off in a second. I've not got it winched on because I'm winching the Voron AE as well. This was my first time balancing the loaf on there. There was a post behind me, so I just 10 seconds like winched the loaf back up. I'm not sure overall if it'd be better just facing the loaf forwards and then hooking the rear wheels like down that little step of the trailer. But I'll see. I'll keep experimenting with it. As you've seen, I always take a loaf with me anyway. So it's just like a little, a little truck backpack. It's like a truck roof rack, but you just gotta bring yourself a loaf. But like I said, it's got the advanced winch on, or well, this one in particular might have the autonomous on. But yeah, a spare winch if I did roll or anything, as I've shown in many videos. The loaf can save you bacon many times. It's hanging on there pretty well over the bumps aren't really affecting it. It's more when you tip quite far one way or another, it's just going to like slowly bump and roll its way off either side. So we're approaching now where that tree is laying across the road that is just always there. It never glitches through the map or anything after you've run over it. I prefer, you can go round to the left, but it gets very boggy and awkward down there and you usually have to winch to that telegraph pole anyway. Personally, I prefer just to go that way round. Once you get your front tyres over, you can catch the fuel tank. If you get past the fuel tank, so the rears get themselves over. Even that trailer dragged itself over, no problems really, so I'd say overall that was quicker than going right round to that ditch on the left. And yeah, now I've got this mission out of the way. Obviously I can do the aeroplane mission where you got to go and recover aeroplane parts, which yeah, I've been looking forward to. Again, I'm going to take, I think actually you might have to use this trailer for the airplane mission. I'm sure I did read through it the other day and it said something about like a saddle high flatbed thing or something. I just drove straight through that ice, and the reason why was because I got the loaf on me. If I drove round to the side, it would have tipped pretty bad and the loaf probably would have flown off anyway. But then going up here, it had a jiggle, it fell off, but it didn't really matter. At this point I just carried on driving, winched it behind me. We'll keep going. So normally by then it'd tip itself back over, but it wanted me to do it manual style, and we're back. See? Never a problem with a loaf. And this is one of the main reasons I wanted the Navistar, because if I had the Club or the P6, I would have quite liked to have used the P16 for this mission. I may even try and incorporate it into at least some of the airplane recovery mission, but yeah, this road in particular, if I had the Club now, I'd absolutely just understeer off the road, go into that snow. I mean, loaf's having a good time. Again, I'm only bringing it along really as a roof rack, so it doesn't necessarily matter if I smash the crap out of the loaf really. I mean, not that I'd try to, but he's a professional. He knows how to handle it in that situation. Yeah, going along here, so I would have just been understeering. I possibly would have even ended up rolling, so if you understeer with a bit of vigour off the left-hand side of the road, you can kind of dig in. And I've not actually rolled yet, but I've been pretty close a few times to that happening. He's certainly added every trick in the book they can think of in this game, like rocks everywhere, trollish super snow, telegraph poles across the map, but all that sort of stuff I do think is pretty cool. Even this next bit, a little bit trollish, but still pretty cool. I end up cutting across the left, like I go off the road to the left in a minute. If you follow the road around, you have to go through this massive section of super snow that's impossibly slow. And it's bits like that where I would think, you know, why? Why did you bother? But maybe they did put it there as a troll to make you like, think outside the box, I suppose, and start thinking, right, I'll cut across just, you know, this road. This isn't a road I'm using now. But it certainly is the option that makes more sense. You can sort of see in the top of the screen, it still looks like road going into them trees, but I assure you, once you're in there, yeah, it's a lot of super snow. So we're just coming up to that little cut across again, where I brought the collab over, where a lot of stuff glitches into it, which is a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. It's not been too bad. I did tip the Antarctic off there the first time, but I wasn't really aware. What I've generally found when you're driving across these boards, if it starts to dig in and glitch, just reverse and it usually gets back off them, and then you have like another sort of run up and an attempt. I mean, this board in particular, as and when I bring Bruce or whatever past here, I might just move that board out of the way, because I honestly think I could just jump this little gap regardless. So this board is probably well, more hassle than it's worth. It was obviously in a better position when I first got here, not with the Navistar like when I first got the map, but as I keep knocking it around on that, it's slowly moving out of the way. The other ones stayed in place relatively well. And see, I tried to avoid it as much as I could. I kept my left-hand wheels on it, but you sort of don't want to fall off it if you can help it. So, up to this point, I was thinking, yep, all's going well, just the last little bit. I didn't really know which way to go round, because obviously I need to go to the airport. And I was thinking, well, I'll just double back the way I went, because that long windy road there is looking like it'll be an awkward sod. Even turning round to try and cut across to go like up the right hand side of the bridge, whatever they call it, I can't remember, but that side of the bridge that's collapsed anyway. Yeah, so I decided to kind of cut along here, and it looked relatively simple. Well, to be fair, it was relatively simple. You'll see what happened, and I don't necessarily think, I don't know, like, it's a bit of a glitch on the game, I suppose. Like, there's not really a whole lot I can do to avoid it. But yeah, cut along the beach. Found this bit to ramp my way up. Obviously, if you remember, when I came on the way back down, I just jumped the collab off one of these cliff edges. So, and even the hole in this trailer, in this, I wouldn't say this is super snow, but it's certainly like completely off-road deep snow, I would call it. And yeah, the Navistar's still going along pretty nicely, but now you can start to see where the width of the trailer really does start to take notice. And you see that first tree I was clipping along the left-hand side that was starting to bend over by itself. That's where it's starting to glitch into the trailer. And at this point, I don't, like, see what path you decide to take back to the airport. Having taken this path, you can see why it ends up being a troll. See, that tree is now stuck in the left-hand side of my trailer. It's officially glitched inside the trailer, but then it's hitting against probably like the next level of the trailer or the legs underneath. Like, some of the trailer is kind of invisible or glitchable to that tree, and other bits aren't. So now my trailer is just gone sideways into the tree. Now I can't drag it forward because it's locked me in place. And I was genuinely stuck here for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, and that's not really the fault of this mission. That's more this trailer being a bit of a dick. But yeah, like, there isn't really any just completely easy, normal way to get this trailer and those armoured cars back to the airport. I mean, you can either chance the same way I did, or learn from my mistakes and attempt a different way, but I can't really clearly point to one way and say, yep, that would definitely be, because by the time I cross this bridge, turning right would be almost impossible with the Navistar and the trailer that would probably get caught under the bridge and all sorts. So of course there's only one thing left to do, send in the loaf, send in a professional. And again, I can't keep making this stuff up. It just saves my ass every time. Like, there's never a reason not to bring a loaf with me, because the amount of time it saves me is more than it wastes, like the 10 seconds it takes, or 30 seconds then to load it in a sideboard or whatever, or just tow it along behind, which is a matter of seconds. And yep, that's one thing I do like, the winch length and the winch strength. Although I do think they seem to have reduced the winch strength again, because it doesn't seem to build tension even worse than when it already felt like it was not building tension as much. Hopefully that might be a temporary issue, as they've just, you know, like, updated the game. It might be some little unplanned quirk of it, but we'll see. And then there, just in case you couldn't tell, after I winched the trailer out, I was trying to reverse to, you know, re-hitch it, and it wouldn't let me reverse under the trailer, and it was like, Jesus Christ game, I got so bloody close to the airport, and then it just completely trolled me in just about every way possible. See, and again, that tree at the back is glitching through some of my trailer, but the actual back piece of my trailer isn't glitching through the tree, so as you can see, I'm now wedged somewhere where it's like, I can't... Yeah, like the trailer's wider than the gap in the trees. Thankfully, for whatever reason, it kind of jiggled around a bit then, just sprang out, which I don't know. I don't know. I was thanking my lucky stars that it did in the end, but yeah, that was the one section I was definitely not happy about. By now it's like, for the love of God, just get to that airport. I'm tapping out. And that was it. That's how close I was the whole time. Like, yeah, I was probably there, 20 minutes or so, I'd say. Because I detached the Navistar, I came to the airport, I got more fuel for the Navistar and all sorts. You see? If I didn't have the horse, I don't even know what I would have done then. Probably have to drove Bruce the whole way and then craned the armoured cars off this trailer and God knows. I didn't even pause for a thumbnail then. I was just, by the time I got here, like, take the goddamn armoured cars and let me finish this mission. So yeah, that's it. That's that one down, ready for the plane one next. That's about it for today though. I hope that helps. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. And get yourself a loaf, of course.